Hello, hello. Hey, Misty. Cheryl, how are you? So good to see you. Welcome, welcome. All right, so today's live stream, it is both an honor and a privilege to be able to have these two people on here. We have David Packer, who has a YouTube channel, and we have Will from The Grind with Will. So we're going to be talking this evening about how they lost their weight and what made them decide to lose the weight and how to go about doing all of that. And I want to mention one thing: we're doing the November Steps Challenge for Derek's Journey, and I'm Team Yellow. I'm the team captain, and will beat me and everybody else for week 1 and week 2. So if you guys didn't know that, now you know. And that was what our that's the YouTube shout out. So if you guys didn't see that, you want to watch that after this.
Mhm.
Let's see, Misty. Yes, Misty, check out David's channel. So, see, we have a couple people on here. Hopefully, other people will join in. See if I can make this a little bit brighter. So, if you ladies, I have two ladies in here, Misty and Cheryl. If you have questions, go ahead and write some questions in there, and we'll start with them speaking about their journey, and then they'll be happy to answer any questions, I'm sure. So let's see. All right, so we are all on the West Coast. So you guys, I think Misty Central Time Zone. Cheryl, I'm not sure where you are, but it's 6 o'clock here. So
Mhm.
all right, so let's start with Will. Will, can you let us know what was your deciding point that you wanted to lose the weight? And I know I've watched your videos. I knew you did the 75 hard, and give us a little bit of insight what led you to do that.
Okay. So I guess back July of last year is when I originally started my weight loss journey. I have had back injuries and knee injuries in the past and was struggling with daily pain from carrying all the extra weight around,
Yeah.
and stepped on the scale and saw 351. It's the heaviest I've ever been in my life. So that was kind of the shock factor for me. And so it led me to look inside of myself, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
to make a change, because I didn't want to keep going down that path. I needed to change what I was doing, because I have a son. He's 8 years old now, who's pretty
Oh,
active, out running around. So I wanted to be able to go do things with him and be able to go play. So needed to make the change for the healthiest version of myself.
absolutely.
Um, so I started down that path and decided to do keto at that point, because I had friends that had been pretty successful at it, and they cycle in and out of keto. So that's why I decided to do that.
Yeah.
Because for me, it worked out because I have a gluten intolerance anyway.
Oh,
So
wow.
it wasn't too hard to cut gluten out. But for my wife,
Yeah.
that was a different story.
How did you know you had a gluten allergy? Had you been feeling sick, and did you go to get tested for that, or how did that come
um,
about?
I didn't realize that's what it was. I just have avoided, like, if I ate a hamburger, I'd eat half the bun and then take the rest of it off. It's just something I've
Okay.
always done. And then in doing keto, I started with less joint inflammation and stuff. And I wasn't sure what it was caused by, because
Yeah.
when I started keto, it was kind of like an elimination diet when I started. And so I'd slowly kind of introduce stuff back in. And when I eat gluten, my joints swell and I
Oh my
get
goodness.
pain from that. So
Wow.
unfortunately, it's worse now that I haven't been eating gluten for a while. But
Mhm.
I can imagine. Jeez.
so I went in to get officially tested for it, and they said the only way to officially test it is for me to eat gluten for 3 weeks straight and then test me.
Oh my God.
And
Oh,
so
man.
That sounds
I told them
terrible.
I wasn't willing to do that. So they said that's pretty much answers their question anyway. So for me, it wasn't too bad to cut gluten out.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas Roadhouse rolls have always, they're
Oh,
always a temptation, but
Those are good. Yeah.
but as long as I stay away from the big city, I'm all right. So,
well,
so
that's very cool. Yes.
that kind of set me down the path for weight loss, and then
Yeah.
just gradually been losing since then and adding more exercise to my life. Because even at the point when I was at that size, I'm a volunteer first responder here locally,
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you
and
for your service and doing that. That's
Mhm.
a tough. That's not an easy thing.
it's
We
not. So
appreciate you for doing that. Wow.
it's my pleasure. It's something I enjoy doing, so it's nice to do. But I'm on the fire department heavy rescue here locally, as well
Wow.
as the search and rescue. So um,
Wow.
it didn't make sense at the size I was to be out trying to help other people if
Yeah.
I couldn't physically keep up with everyone else. I felt like I was just kind of a burden. So
Yeah.
um, so it's been interesting in the weight loss journey, and my clothes and stuff fitting differently for that kind of stuff. So
What a great feeling.
not having to hold my breath to pull my boots on, that's
Yeah.
always an awesome feeling. So
And David, what brought you to that point, and what was your point, the point in time where you made the decision to do what you did?
Sure. Yeah. So for me, I've been pretty public about it. I had in my 20s, I don't know why really, but I had kind of a midlife crisis, pretty severe depression.
Okay.
So for me, that's the point in time when I really put on a lot of the weight. And then starting 2021 this year, I weighed 541 pounds. And so for some reason, again I don't know why, but this past like few months or past year, kind of the depression lifted. And so, obviously I still have like days where I'm not super motivated or I don't feel the greatest, but overall I'm like pretty dang happy. And
Oh, that's so
so
good to hear.
yeah, thank you. And so I once I was in a better mental state, I'm like, okay, gosh,
Yeah.
whoa, now I gotta take back my life and enjoy life now that I'm feeling much better. So I've been trying to lose weight since January 1st, and my most recent weigh-in last Friday was like 428.8, I think. So I'm right around 112, 113
Oh my
pounds down.
goodness.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey guys,
Um,
that's that's amazing. I have no words that you did that.
Thank you. Yeah,
That's
it was
a
great. My
big
parents, they had
accomplishment.
a big, celebration dinner for me and all that. So
Oh,
it was great. And so now I am still obviously trying to lose because I still weigh 428. So I am working on the next 100. I kind of mentally think about it in 100-pound chunks. So I got the first one done. Now I'm working on the second one.
right.
And so it's been going good. And like Will, it's like really encouraging to hear the things he's doing, because I have those exact same thoughts where I'm like, man, I would love to be able to do these things like volunteer or help other people out, but I'm still in my journey at that physical point where I can't quite do a lot of things still. So
right.
still doing a lot better than before, but
Absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
still got some work to go to.
Well, I saw you went hiking with your kids. You had a video, was it like 2 weeks ago? That was so nice to see. The kids were having so much fun.
Yeah,
Always
they
nice. It's been a while. How long before you were out hiking? How long had it been since you did that?
between the weight and the depression, it had been, I'd probably guess like 8 or 9 years since I've been hiking. So it was
Wow.
fun to try it again. And that's, I'm looking to mix back in things as I get a little bit healthier.
Yeah,
Mhm.
actually, Risa Bisa, I love that. That made me cry. That video where you called your mom and you were talking to your family members, and it was such a good feeling. And it was, I don't even have any words just for it. It was just such an amazing phone call, and to receive that news on the other end had to be fantastic to hear.
Yeah, it was that definitely made me cheer up too on those calls. And yeah, my mom and then my sister, she kind of feels like a second mom to me because she's older than me and she
Okay.
kind of changed my diapers and all that. So so they both are like backing me. They comment on everything I do. They're like 100% behind me. So it's nice to have.
Wow, that's really nice to hear. I'm trying to pull up some of these comments right here.
Yeah, I saw some good questions there.
Let's see. If I missed them, please let me know because I'm trying to go back.
Yeah,
I
I'm trying to watch
saw
comments and the video at the same time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Difficult.
And they're having a conversation. Hey, Alan's awesome keto world. He's got some great recipes. And we have Risa Bisa. She has an amazing channel. And of course, your pal Misty, who's one of my best friends. She is a hoot. If you guys haven't seen her on this live stream, which I think most of us are all friends, you have to go and see her. Her videos are great because she always does the outtakes at the end where she says,
Right.
"Get it together, Misty."
uh,
And she, howdy. Then she'd mess up and Barnum's on there. So yeah, Misty, we appreciate that.
mhm.
Anybody else? My 5-star life, Becky. Becky's been doing some food reviews like Misty has, and it's pretty good. I enjoy watching those as well. All right, so let's see. What are the questions? Misty said that bread is her weakness. Okay. So, I'm sorry, guys, I'm not looking at you. I'm trying to look. Here we go. There we go. Cheryl, noticed a significant difference in my pain levels losing the weight. And that's what you were saying, Will, right? With your joints. You do you have joint pain now? Just is it still there or is it pretty much absent or how are
My
your joints?
my knees are a lot better. My
Good.
hands are a lot better. I think my back is more of an intelligence problem.
Okay.
Because I'll see something like, oh, I can pick that up. And I won't stand the way I'm supposed to and pick it up stupidly, and then I pay for it. But, you know.
I'm known for that too.
Yep.
I think we all do that sometimes.
Yep.
So, David, what kind of, I know I've seen some of your, I saw the video where you and your wife, you made that delicious new recipe and she was like, yeah, it's good. It's good. I want to try that. But so how did you change your way of eating? Did you say, I'm going to cut out carbs, or did you just say, I'm just going to eat smaller portions, or was it a combination of both?
For me, I started out with pretty much only calorie restriction. I started the year saying, okay, I'm going to only have 2,000 calories per day. And that's what I'm currently on now that I work out, especially with, I'm doing 75 hard also. And so now that I'm doing 2 workouts a day, I bumped it up to 2,200 calories. But calorie restriction for me is what I've just kind of meshed with well, but I definitely am always open to trying. As you may have seen on my channel, I've tried juicing, I've tried OMAD, I've tried any intermittent fasting in general. So I'm always open to trying new things. The one that I keep hearing about is keto. I haven't tried keto, but I'm open to it. So, but yeah, it's definitely something that the eating was a big change for me because I mean, I would go to the fast food drive-through like several times a week and I would get it on the way to dinner. You know, I'd be like, I'm so hungry. And even to this day, I mean, I want to go now and get, you know, a triple cheeseburger or something, but it's something that I struggle with and I probably will struggle with for quite some time. But I think I have gained a lot of discipline in trying to lose weight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. Even if I try, I don't really drink soft drinks, but if I have one Coke, I have to have the regular stuff. I don't like if I'm going to have it, I'm going to have the real stuff.
Yeah.
I have one and then the next day I want another one, and I have to stop myself because I don't want to go down that road. At one time was drinking a lot of Diet Coke, and I just thought, why am I doing this?
Mhm.
So I mostly drink water. I put fruit in it. I have a fruit diffuser, and a lot of times just lemon water. And I'm not a coffee drinker, so people say, well, just drink coffee, have some. I can't do it. I tried it. No matter how much sweetener or flavoring, no, I just can't get past the taste. And I guess there are a lot of people. I'm not the only one that doesn't like coffee. Are you guys coffee drinkers?
No, no, not at all.
No. Well, that's his coffee. I think the caffeine as well. If I have caffeine, I get very anxious, like jittery. So I pretty much try to stay away from caffeine. It just doesn't do it. I just don't do well with it
Mm.
at all. Will,
I
can you go to sleep after having, or do you do decaf?
I drink regular caffeine, but I drink an obscene amount of caffeine, so I can just go to sleep.
Obscene amount. So, guys, in the comments, friends, if you have questions, please send us some questions because we are just going to keep chattering on. I could talk. Oh, Misty. All right. So, Misty just bought a pair of pajama pants, which she had on her channel, and she got them at Walmart. I remember the joy in her voice and watching that she didn't need the X. How Misty. It was just such a great accomplishment. Those non-scale victories too, just I'm sure being able to, like you said, Will, to put the boots on and not hurt when you're
Right.
going to go out as a first responder. A lot of those non-scale victories are, we have to celebrate them. It's not all about the number on the scale. And let's see here, we have here for David, just recently I discovered also, oh, you're having a gluten allergy too. Well, that's good to hear. We're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right. So with the keto, oh, Frugal Mama, Tasharia, welcome in. Am I doing okay with these comments? I'm kind of bouncing down and forth. Okay. So Will, can you tell us, like, the keto, what did you start with when you did keto? What were your basics? So maybe you can help people out there that might want to start.
So my basics that I started with was where I work. I actually work at a food distribution warehouse. So for me to get bulk food's pretty easy. So I started with like chicken breast, fish, and then different vegetable blends that had broccoli, cauliflower. Some of them had carrots, some of them didn't. Because carrots have some hidden carbs if you're following the keto world. So you got to be careful.
Know that. I didn't know that. There's so much I don't know about keto. And I sometimes, just because I don't do well with like the gluten stuff either, but the keto, there's so many carbs and so much sugar and so much gluten and so much in things we don't even think of.
Right. And it's learning to read the labels is the tough part, I think.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
So for me, when I started, I did kind of a really restrictive clean keto.
Okay.
And so I cut it down to 18 grams or less of net carbs a day.
Okay.
And so that's pretty restrictive, given like one can of soda is 3 times that amount, I think.
Oh yeah.
So
yes.
So that was difficult to get kind of my head wrapped around it. And so I did the whole blood test for ketones thing.
Okay.
To see what affected me which ways. Because I'm a data-driven person. So if there's anything I can do to see the data to make sure it's working the way I want, I kind of obsess over some of that stuff. So,
Do you really?
uh, so I had the blood test meter where I'd eat the same thing and then add one thing new and then test it to see how it
Wow.
changed it.
Yeah.
And I never got crazy high ketone levels like everybody says you should.
Okay.
I think I tested above 2 once.
Okay.
I'm usually between 0.08 and 1.5 is where I'm at. So
Okay.
nothing crazy. I think a lot of that is I don't have as much fat in my diet as a lot of the
Okay. Right.
calculators say you should, because I figured I'm fat enough. Why am I eating fat? So I just let my body burn what I had. And I know in the beginning I wasn't eating enough protein for what I was doing, so I lost quite a bit of muscle mass in the beginning.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you
So
talking about that, and also with the new that recipe you made was it like a week or two ago,
right.
where your son was helping you. You even touched base on that with how you had not had a lot of protein in the beginning, and then you learned. It's like a learning process, learning curve, I guess.
Yeah, so originally in the first, I think it was 50 pounds that I lost, 21 pounds of that was muscle.
Oh,
So that doesn't just come right back.
no.
So I was pretty disappointed about that. But since I've increased the protein, I haven't lost muscle mass since then. So,
Wow.
so it's definitely, you need to be sure to watch that. At least for me, it drastically affected how much I burned, because muscle burns calories way better than a lot of things. So
Yeah, absolutely. And people say, "Well, I'm not losing weight. I gained weight." When they start lifting, well, muscle weighs more than fat does. So
right.
people will say, "I don't think I should do this anymore. I'm just going to do cardio." But you do need that some strength training too, like you were saying too. So, David, what are some of the foods, since you've been on this journey, that what are your go-tos? Like, what do you like and what have you tried that you didn't like? And we want to know.
Yeah,
We want
that's a
to
good
know.
question. Um,
Inquiring minds want to know.
yeah, and I got to give a shout out. I think you put his comment up. My cousin Esteban is here, so he's my only family or friend I think that showed up. So thank you so much for being here. So
Yes,
yeah,
thank you for being here.
as far as foods, I have learned to love salads. Like my favorite place to go now is Salad and Go because it's like super cheap. It's
We
like
have
a
yes, yeah,
yeah, and they're building one
$5.
like super close to my house, like a mile that way. So I'm really
Okay.
excited. It's close to opening up. But so yeah, that's my new favorite is salad. What else do I like? I've been getting into kombucha drinks. So during this 75 hard, I haven't had any coffee, alcohol, soda, even diet soda. I haven't had anything like that. So
Wow.
I've been just
That's awesome.
maybe once every few days, I'll have a kombucha, and it tastes pretty good to me. I mean, maybe I'm just deprived because I haven't had anything else, but it tastes pretty good to me. um, and she'll get me like some cola flavored ones or some root beer flavored ones. So that I think it's definitely learning to, and my wife now, so I've mentioned this on my channel, my wife is like an amazing cook, and so
Yes.
she will, like last night we had fettuccine alfredo, but instead of the noodles we just had a bunch of roasted veggies, and we put the
Oh,
roasted veggies with grilled chicken on top and then a little bit of alfredo sauce on top, and it was so good. And to me it was like as enjoyable maybe as having the noodles, but it was so much healthier. So it's just
right.
it's just a way to like change your way of thinking that I always thought that healthy food was not tasty, but it really can be if you put in the work to do that.
Yeah, that's true. Because if it doesn't taste good, you're more likely to not want it.
Yep.
And when I cook, I used to just I would steam vegetables and not put any. There's so many seasonings that don't have like natural seasonings that don't have sodium and don't have dyes, and like I had to learn that too, because when I grew up, my mom always I don't know. They didn't do a whole lot of salt, but I do. I despise salt. If something's too salty, I can't eat it. But peppercorns, I put peppercorns on everything. I don't know if you guys like peppercorns. I have a peppercorn meal in the morning. My daughter will ask, "Why do you always put that on your egg whites?" Because I like it. But they think I'm crazy in the house here with all these peppercorns. Put it on salads. And like you said, salad and go. Well, David and I both live in Arizona.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you guys out there have heard of salad and go. Their salads are $5. I don't think they're any more than five. Are they, David?
I think the one I always get is like 574 plus tax. So
Okay.
pretty
Yeah.
spot on. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just this little tiny drive-through place.
Mhm.
And there's everything is on there. They just hand you a little box with your dressing, and it's all there. You don't have to order. Well, I don't want this, and I want that. It's just all there. It's so good.
Yeah. It's so, and it always is so fresh. I love it.
It is. Let's see who else. Alan has done very well with keto. You guys have to check his channel out as well. He replicates recipes from restaurants, and he does such a great job with that. I'm not that creative to do that. I really don't have that imagination to. Oh wow, there's even more. I'm sorry guys, I am not keeping up with the comments. So when it comes to working out, Will, what are you doing? What is working for you these days?
As far as like exercise or just
Yeah. What do you know? What is your like routine, or how many days a week do you exercise?
it depends on what I'm doing. Right now, I've just finished phase 1, 75 hard.
Okay.
So I'm
Right.
kind of in like a rest period, I guess. So right now I'm just doing a lot of steps. So like a typical day, I'll get up in the morning, go to work, and then at the end of the day, I'll walk on the treadmill or something. I've got a TV mounted above my treadmill, so
That's a great idea.
So I can catch up on shows or whatever I want to do while I'm walking on the treadmill. And it depends on the calorie burn I'm looking for. If I'm just going purely for steps, I'll keep it at a 0 incline.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to burn a large amount of calories in a short amount of time, I'll set it at like a 5 or a 6 incline.
Okay.
And then just kill myself that way.
Nothing is slower than treadmill time.
Right.
The treadmill is so boring. I don't know. I'd rather walk outside. Even when I lived in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, I would rather go out bundled up if it's 0 degrees and walk rather than get on the treadmill we lived in an apartment complex, rather than get on that treadmill. I didn't care if it was icy out. Treadmill time is so slow.
Right. And we have a lot of walking.
Yeah.
We have a lot of walking paths down around us too.
Okay.
So when the weather works out, we go there.
Yeah.
Kind of cold right now.
What state are you in, Will?
I'm in Utah.
Utah. Okay, cool.
Down in the southeast Four Corners corner.
Oh, okay. My family's all in Provo and Salt Lake, so I'm more familiar with that area. But yeah.
I was just up there for Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, David, you can take this one. Your cousin posted a question here. What good tips did you start out with to mentally stop eating, even when you know your stomach is full?
Yeah. Well, for me, because I was going by the calorie count, it wasn't. I didn't even have to worry about, do I feel full or do I not feel full? Once you hit the calories, you're done. So that it was kind of nice to have that. The other thing that I really liked about OMAD, so when I was on OMAD, which for those that don't know is 1 meal a day, that I was basically fasting 23 hours and then eating for 1 hour. What I liked about that is if you're doing it like really well, maybe you are counting your calories in that and you're making sure that you're having like nutritional food. But for me, I tried to have healthy food, but at that point I did not count calories at all. I was just doing the OMAD, and for whatever reason, I was able to eat really well and delicious foods and not count calories, and then I still lost weight. So it's
Wow.
definitely maybe something worth trying. But um, yeah, with the calories and with OMAD, you don't even think about how you feel, am I too full or not, because you're following that plan. So it's kind of nice when you have a plan. I guess that would be my overall answer is I would rather not. I know some people are into intuitive eating, and if that works for you, that's completely fine. But
Right.
for me, I like having a set plan where I know I'm having the X amount of calories, or I'm only eating this meal, and then it kind of takes care of the rest. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, with the OMAD, did you find yourself hungry during you had all those hours of fasting? I
Mhm.
don't know. I mean, I think I would feel like I was starving if I've never tried that, but a
Yeah.
lot of people have a lot of great success with it.
hmm Yeah, I did definitely. By the time it was, because I my one meal was at like 5 or 6, so
Uh-huh.
by the time it was like 2 to 4, I was so hungry, and I've honestly felt a little weak. That's why I don't really do it that much anymore. Although I will. That's what I like about trying all these different things is you kind of keep what you learned in your tool belt. So nowadays, if I am not feeling
Right.
that hungry at lunch, I'll go, oh well, I'll just not eat till dinner anyways because I'm feeling that. And whenever I've listened to my body like that, it's turned out really well. Where I'm like, oh gosh, okay, now I've had a great week. I lost a couple more pounds because I listened.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know, when I was pregnant, I gained 75 pounds.
Wow.
I had morning sickness all day long until, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the evening. So, what my mother said, just keep something in your stomach. And it went on for months. It was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. And I was eating good food, but I was gaining. And everybody said, "Oh, you're eating for two." Well, I had a table at Olive Garden every week. I would go once a week. I'm not into bread and pasta, but I would eat two of those large bowls of salad. And they would know, "Oh, you're here for your salad." I mean, two huge bowls of salad. And yeah, it takes time to get that weight off. And that was, I mean, because I was pregnant, but I think I started to just eat when I was hungry, and I increased my exercise time and, just I listened to my body and stopped when I was full. Oh, I'm so sorry. If you hear a cat meowing, my cat is about ready to jump on my dog. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you guys ever watched any of my videos, you know Lily, my yellow lab, and Griffin is our cat. Well, they have to be right here wherever I am, don't you?
Mm.
But yeah, I took the 75 pounds off, which took a year, over like a year, probably like 14 months. So I
Oh.
definitely had a time in my life where I was trying to figure out what's going to work.
Mhm.
Right.
Let's see if we have any more questions.
That's
Oh, my.
awesome that you lost the 75 though. Good job.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. And I taught my classes. I've been an instructor since I was 19.
Oh wow.
And I taught my last class on a Thursday evening. I didn't do abdominal workouts, but I still did everything low impact. I still did like low weight training. I taught my last class on a Thursday, and I gave birth to my daughter on Friday morning.
Oh wow.
And the girls in the class, they kept saying it was a running joke. Is she going to go into labor today? I don't know. I don't. Are you sure you should be doing this? But the doctor
That's
said, you've
awesome.
done this your whole life. If you were just starting to work out now while you were pregnant, no, you would have to start with walking. But since I had done that my whole life,
Mm.
it was okay then.
That makes sense that you've been teaching that long because I saw some of your videos. I'm like, man, Val is like a pro at teaching this, like leading this
Aw.
class. So that makes
Well,
sense.
that makes me feel happy. Thank you for that compliment.
Yeah.
That's very nice to hear, because sometimes I just feel like I've been doing it for so long. And I don't know, I celebrated my 50th birthday this year. So that's how long I've been teaching. If you
Oh
guys
wow.
didn't know, now you know how old I am. And I don't hide it. I think in April, Nikki from Too Fat, Too Furious, she's one of my best friends, we share the same birthday. So we did a birthday celebration live stream, and we had people guess our ages. And she's young, a lot younger than I am, but yeah, so we were destined to be friends. Let's see. So what, David, what type of, like, you're walking a lot now? Are you doing other exercises other than walking and hiking, or is that basically what you're into right now?
Yeah, I try to go to the gym around at least once a day. I probably am a little bit lower than that right now,
Yeah.
maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. But that's probably one of my favorite exercises to do is go to the gym. Because like Will, I'll just put my phone on the treadmill, I'll watch a show and do some
Yeah.
cardio. And then I got into weightlifting originally in high school for football. And so to this day, I mean, there's just something so fun about, pumping some iron. It
Yeah.
really gets me going.
I think on one of your videos you had mentioned that you and your wife go faithfully
Yeah.
together. She sounds like a great wife and a great supporter of everything you're doing.
Yeah, she's awesome. And I started a new job in, I think it was July this year. So since I have a new job, it's like super flexible hours. So yeah, we
Oh,
go to
wow.
the gym together, and it's a
Yeah.
lot better for the change in job was just so fortuitous because it was so good for my mental health, so good for my weight loss. So was really grateful for that.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, it's like all about mindset, right, guys? Like if you don't have your mind in the right spot, it doesn't matter what you do, it's not going to work. I know there have been times where I say I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, but if my heart wasn't in it, it didn't work, and then I'd be disappointed. But there's no one to blame but myself, because like I said, I was drinking those Cokes, which I don't drink them anymore. And I was like, why do I keep doing this? It's not good for me, but it tasted so good. And if you're not in it, if you don't have your mind made up, then I mean, do you agree with that, Will? Like you have to have your mind right, your mindset?
I think definitely. I've said a few times in some videos that you have to make the decision for yourself,
Yes.
because when it gets hard, you're the one that has to dig deep and push through it. Nobody else is going to push you through. So if your mind's not in the right place, it's easy to fall back into old habits.
Yeah. I like how you always say at the end of your videos too. I love like everything about your channel. You really have done a lot. That 75 hard that you guys are doing that's not easy at all. I mean, I know that's why it's called 75 hard, but there are so many people that have done that, and you have to be so disciplined.
Yeah, it's really a lot of mental exercise too, more than just the physical. It's a exercise and discipline for sure.
Definitely.
I'm sorry about that, Cheryl. I saw that you wrote keto diet, and I know that you meant diet, so I thought I would put that about that on there. Oh boy. Okay, here, Ketorific Journey. He tracks macros. Do you guys, Will, are you into tracking macros since you've done keto? Can you explain a little bit to everyone if they're not familiar what that is and how you do it?
Yeah. So the macros I track my fat, my carbs. A subcategory of carbs would be your sugar, added sugar, that kind of stuff. And then I track calories on top of protein and everything else. So your macros would be your main nutrient source, so fat, carbs, protein. So I track those. I adjust those around depending on what I'm trying to do. But I also calorie count on top of that just to make sure I hit my minimums. So like I said, I obsess over the data. So it's just how my mind's set. So it's even to the point where for a while I used MyFitnessPal and Carb Manager. I would put it in both because I have a lot of Garmin accessories, to put it nicely, I guess. And so Carb Manager doesn't connect with Garmin as well as MyFitnessPal does. So that's the main reason I use that one more. But so it tracks my calories from MyFitnessPal, and it shows all up in my Garmin dashboard, I guess. So it's all in one place, so it makes it easier for me. And then I weigh myself every day regardless, so I can see what's affected where. But I see the scale as more like a tool, not necessarily a judgment. So
That's smart.
It's going to fluctuate, because
Right.
on average, I've been told you can fluctuate 2% in water a day. Well, I'm
I've heard that.
250 pounds, so that's 5 pounds just from
Yeah.
water. So you can't get too bent out of shape over what the scale says, because it doesn't show the muscle gain that you got. So it's kind of hard that way. So yeah, I track the macros on trackers, and just to make sure that I know exactly what I'm putting in my body, so that if something changes, I know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It's part of why I obsess over that, I guess. So.
You obsess over that. Oh, thank you, Becky. So, guys, if you haven't subscribed to David Packer and the Grind with Will, if you're watching and you're not in the chat, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you check their channels out before you go away. I just want to get that out there. We're all in this together. We're all growing our channels, and it's a lot of work. We all know that. Oh, Derek's in here. Hey, Derek. Are you guys familiar with, I think you know Derek, right? From Derek's Journey? Will, you definitely know him, right?
Yeah, for sure.
David Packer. Do you know Will? Do you know Derek from Derek's Journey?
I don't think I do. It's possible. I honestly have a terrible memory, so it's possible, but I don't think so.
I don't know why I just said David Packer.
I like that.
I saw your name right here, and I'm like, David.
Yeah.
Derek has been on a weight loss journey too, and he and his wife are amazing. They have a little boy, Jaden, and he's done these he does these steps challenges where everyone tracks how many steps they have, and there's a captain, and then they, at the end of each week, he'll say, oh, team yellow is in the lead or team blue is in the lead. And at the end, he combines it all. And I think it's amazing because he's got people all over the world. We're all in different parts of the world, and he's got us all walking. So kudos to you, Derek. Thank you so much for getting everybody moving. We really appreciate that.
That is really cool, especially for people like me that are pretty competition driven. That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Lily, would you like to say hi? Come on, jump up. Okay, this is Lily. I think you guys already know her. And she somehow pushed open the door. I don't want kisses right now. Say hi. Say hi. Are you going to smile? If you'll excuse me for thank you, for 1 second, I'm going to put her out of this room. So before I do that, let's see if we have questions. Carolyn is amazing. She did the keto diet and she was doing very well with that, but she is expecting now. She's expecting a baby. So she's not doing that anymore, which is a smart thing. Here we go, Derek. Derek, absolutely true. I lost around 82 pounds. He's really pushed on. He's really pushed on with that. And he's got so many of us together. Let's see. Oh, I like how Mike said this. On any diet, you can be your own worst enemy or your own best friend. Any more questions? Let's see.
I had a question for Will because I don't know a terrible amount of keto. You mentioned measuring your ketones. How do you do that?
Good question.
So they have a couple different methods. They have urine strips, or like a blood tester, like similar to what a diabetic would use to test their blood sugar. And so they just have a ketone test strip that tests the level of ketones in your blood. There's a lot of mixed reviews out about the urine strips. I've been told they work in the beginning, but then once your body kind of fine tunes and only makes the ketones you need, they become less effective for measuring that.
Okay.
I've never used the urine strips personally, so I can't say one way or the other with that one. But the blood test, you just prick your finger, put blood on the tester, and then it gives you an answer.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's how
cool.
I used that.
Will, did you go through what they say keto flu when you first started? I've heard a lot of people say that. Some people have, some people say they haven't.
I did not.
Okay.
One of the best ways that I've found to curb that cycling in and out of keto is I drink a lot of electrolytes
Oh,
when cycling into keto. And I
okay.
think that's where a lot of that is it's electrolyte imbalance. I think it's what causes that. And it may not be that, but that's my own personal belief.
Yeah.
Definitely
I don't know
need to
much
drink.
about that.
You need to drink more water and electrolytes for sure, because carbs help your body retain water anyway. So the less carbs you eat, the more water you need to drink because you don't store it as much.
Yeah, that makes sense. Even Misty has said here that are the key to avoiding the keto flu for sure. I don't know how to put their links in the description. I know that anybody else know how to I can call my daughter. So you need a 12-year-old as a tech person when you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
I recently started to do some more live streams, so some of this is I'm learning.
Mhm.
So some people are saying Mike doesn't test ketones. Oh, does your breath smell bad? If so, you're in ketosis. Oh, I have heard of that.
I don't know. My wife could probably tell you.
Let's go ask Will's wife. Does he have bad breath? Let's see here. Thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
The keto flu because it was before I knew about electrolytes. Okay, so electrolytes are a key to anyone starting keto. So when you're talking about electrolytes, how do you consume electrolytes, Will?
I've got a couple different supplements that I use
Okay.
that have all of those in it. But
Okay.
it could be as simple as making your own like Soleil water some people make with like pink Himalayan salt and water.
Okay.
So you can do that. You can take magnesium supplements, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I found one from a Utah company. This is actually them, but they have a electrolyte supplement that they use erythritol to sweeten it with.
Oh,
And
okay.
so that's a zero net carb sweetener in the keto realm. So there's zero net carbs in that one, and it's got your daily electrolytes in it.
That's interesting.
So I just use that. It can be expensive, so if you're trying to go the cheaper route, definitely getting the supplements to take with vitamins is the best way to go for cost-wise.
That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. So Derek wants to know, David, your channel is just called David Packer, correct?
Yeah, just if you put my name in the YouTube search bar, I think I'm the top hit. So
Yeah.
there's one other David Packer that has like 10,000 subscribers. It's like a gymnast, but I think mine pops up the first. So yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. Alan was saying that I use one from Perfect Keto. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ones out on the market. I don't know which one's best, but
yeah. So
it's
what are
definitely key.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're right.
So how did you guys do over Thanksgiving? Did you allow yourself to splurge a little bit, or were you like strict?
I didn't track anything, honestly.
Okay, good. You need a day like that, right? Just like when you work out, you need a rest day. Sometimes you just need to enjoy. How about you, David? Did you enjoy yourself, or were you like?
I would say kind of a little bit of A, a little bit of B. I was
Okay.
I went to Thanksgiving and I knew okay, I have enough that I can have 2 plates basically. So I had 2 plates, which was less than I wanted, but it still was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your plans for like going forward now through the holidays? Holidays are such a hard time because there's so much temptation and food. Are you going to just continue doing what you're doing, David? You're just going to continue like what you've been doing to get through, or you?
Yeah, I'm planning on sticking to the 2,200 calories limit
Okay, that's
through the
perfect.
holidays, and my 75 hard ends on December 31st.
Oh, does
So,
it?
yeah, so I can celebrate the new year, I
Oh,
guess.
that's
um,
amazing.
and I'm hoping, well, I don't know. I always go back and forth in my mind because I weighed 428, like I said. And so part of me is like, oh, what if I could hit under 400 before the end of the year? But
Yeah,
then part of me is like, oh, is that too much, too fast? So, because I want to do it, in a healthy, sustainable way. So we'll see. I'm going to, push for it and see what happens.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
great. Yeah, I saw that you said something about that. This is my goal by the end of the year,
Yeah.
and I was like, you can do it. You can do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That would be amazing to do if I could do that.
Wow.
We'll see.
Cheering you on over here for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Good night, Misty. Are you leaving us? And Carolyn's leaving us. We'll probably wrap it up in about 5 more minutes. So if anybody else has anything to say in the chat or anything at all, just let us know because all three of us, would be happy to answer any questions if we can.
Hmm.
I've been doing a lot of walking workouts on my channel because of Derek's journey, how he has the get your steps in. So we're so motivated to get as many steps. I had to even buy a new pair of shoes, and I bought the same pair of shoes I had because I love them so much. And I had to get a new pair of shoes.
What's like an average day step count for you?
For me,
Mhm.
a good day, I would say, is like 15,000.
Wow. Okay.
And sometimes sometimes I'll do a live in the morning. They're like between 3,000 and 4,500 steps. So I have that out of the way by lunchtime. So between 15 and 20, it depends. Like we were saying, some days your best today might not be your best tomorrow, or
Mhm.
vice versa. Because some days you just feel like, oh gosh, I want to go, go, go. And then some days it's just tough. It's just
Yeah.
so hard. You guys know that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Thank you. Let's see. Derek is saying good night. Derek's in Florida, so he gets to enjoy some nice warm weather.
Yeah.
Jealous.
What's the temperature where you are, Will?
It was 18 degrees this morning when I went to work.
Wow.
And David, what was our temperature today? It was probably what,
I
70,
think it was probably 70 something. Yeah.
76, 78. This is all new to me to be outside, and we had Thanksgiving dinner outside, and our friends came over, and I said, we're having Thanksgiving outside. This is unheard of, growing up in Pennsylvania and then living in New Jersey for a year and a half. And our friends would say, why are we having Thanksgiving outside? Because we can, because
Yep.
I'm not in the cold right now.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. Ah,
I think we're
okay.
supposed to be mid 50s tomorrow for the high.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll miss the snow, but we can always drive up to Flagstaff or somewhere
Hmm.
like that if my daughter misses it. She's enjoying.
Yeah,
Miss.
it's the time of year where it's so beautiful here in Phoenix. But yeah, that we do the same thing. Like once a year, we'll drive up to Flagstaff for some snow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, Cheryl has a question for you. What is your favorite part of the journey you were on? Who wants to go first? Go ahead, David. You can go.
Okay. My answer for this is almost always the same. I think that my favorite part has been just like the love and connection that I feel with so many people that I've met or reconnected with on the journey. I've like, old friends and family reach out and they're like, hey, we're behind you 100%. Old football coaches,
Wow.
wrestling buddies. I had a wrestling buddy, like, he's like, hey, I saw that you walked tonight. So I went on a walk because, I support you 100%. And it's just little touching things like that. And even strangers, because I don't think of myself as somebody to like, look as a motivator or anything, but I do have these people that reach out to me and they're like, man, you really helped me feel motivated today. And just it makes sharing my journey, which is sometimes awkward or difficult. It makes sharing my journey so worth it. So that's my favorite part, is just kind of connecting with so many people.
Yeah. How about you, Will?
I think that's a great answer, first off.
Credit to David. Kudos.
Thank you.
Great answer.
I think my favorite part of the whole journey is just the excitement of what's next for me. Because hitting different goals, like, it's still difficult for me to wrap my brain around where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Because I'm still stuck in the 350-pound mindset. So the small surprises of that are kind of fun still. Eventually my brain will catch up, I think. But seeing old friends that haven't seen me since I started, some of them walk right past me and don't even recognize me now. So that's kind of fun to sneak up and scare them or something. But,
and you also had a video not too long ago about body image. Can you talk a little bit about that, Will? In case you guys didn't see it.
That's some of that. So it's like a body dysmorphia. There's different kinds. And some of them can be linked to different kind of disorders. But I guess one way to preface that is a lot of my weight gain, I guess, could be mental health related. Just kind of like giving up and just like self-worth wasn't there. So it's like, oh, what's it matter? So getting past that mindset, you're still kind of stuck in that mental health mindset for me. So in the body dysmorphia world, you've made a lot of progress, but your mind is still stuck back where you were. And so for me, it's been interesting ordering new clothes because I ordered a pair of pants because my other ones, I couldn't even tighten my belt anymore.
Like, that's great.
And so I was like, oh, well, these ones will probably fit. And when they came in, they were too big.
Oh, wow.
And so I had to send them back and ordered another set, and those were too big.
Oh, my gosh.
And so it was just wrapping my brain around the size that I'm at now is difficult for me. So someday it'll catch up. But at this point, it's something I deal with daily. And some of that was during my weight loss progress. We were remodeling the inside of our house. So I didn't have any mirrors to look at during most of it.
Okay.
And so I didn't really see myself in reflections or anything.
Right. No.
So even now, every once in a while, somebody will snap a picture and post it. And I'm like, oh, wow. There's a big difference.
Wow, I don't look so bad.
It's like almost shocking. I'm like, wow, who's this guy? But so, yeah. And I think a lot of people deal with that at some level. Like a lot of professional athletes, they're like, oh, if I could only get to this level, then I'll be happy. And then they get to that point and it's not good enough at that point. So it's a constant struggle. But
sorry, my cat just video bombed us. First the dog. The dog's standing here looking at me like, I don't have anything for you, Lily. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Oh, yes. Misty had made a point here. If you look at some of her older, like all of her older videos, I don't recognize her. She's done so well. She's a different person. And she has also said that I don't recognize myself. And her mom, she went away to see her mom. She said, my mama didn't recognize me from the back because I didn't look the same anymore. I love that.
Oh, wow.
Okay, what is he saying? Unless I see side by side photos, I don't see me 100 pounds. Like, yeah, yeah, it's those non-scale victories too. Like you said, Will, trying those pants on and oh, these are too big. I'll get the next size, and then they come and those are too big. It's just such a, like you said, it's not just the size, the number on the scale. It's how you feel, and that's the best part of it all. Just that sense
Right.
of accomplishment and being proud.
Yeah, I think that's really true because even though I've lost around 113, I have a hard time looking in the mirror and seeing that much of a difference. I can see maybe like a little bit in the face, but the rest I'm like, and I'm actually kind of like the same shirt size, I think, since I started, which is crazy to think. I just thought it would be so, but yeah, seeing old videos, it does help you compare. And then I think other people seeing too, like your friends and family, they're like, hey,
Yeah,
you're looking better. Like, good job, you know?
yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Well, you both are such amazing people. And for you to have that motivation and to change your mindset and to change your habits and to change your lifestyle for the better for you and your families is no easy task. And it's such an inspiration. And I just thought that both people here have lost over 100 pounds that we needed to do a live stream. I've had a few people, Lily, don't do that. A few people in the past few weeks talk to me about, what exercises can I do? What I want to lose weight. And it's really not all about the exercise. You have to do other things to get to that point and make some big changes. And this hopefully will help the two people that had asked me that, and that was my motivation for having you guys on.
Mhm.
Let's see what Misty says here. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, thanks so much for having me on. I've never done anything live, Instagram, YouTube. I've never done anything live, so this was kind of fun.
This was fun. I'm really happy you guys agreed to do this. Maybe in January we can touch base and have another one and see where everybody is and how you're doing. Let's see what Mike said. Yeah, 44 pants. Recently got new clothes I'm wearing. Wow, that's
Wow.
awesome. Geez, that's such a big accomplishment. And you know that I'm right here rooting you guys on, and I just think it's great. And we're here to support you and this whole community that we have here. And I don't know, Will, if you beat me in steps on the third week, I have to double check because I want to do like top step or week 1 and 2 was Will. And my daughter said, well, what if Will is the top stepper number 3 and 4? I said, then I'm going to do another shout out video.
Well,
I
part of
just
that was, yeah, part of that's kind of not fair because I was lower and then I went out on a couple of those rescues. And
okay.
so
Yeah, that's what you
I
said.
already got my steps in for the day and getting ready to go to bed, and the phone rings, and I'm like, well, here we go again.
That's an unfair advantage. Well, you didn't get any sleep. We got sleep, but you had to go out on the mountain and rescue people.
Yeah, but luckily, happy endings on those. But
Yeah, that's
appreciate
great
you
news.
having us on. This is my first live stream, also, so
Okay.
it's
Yeah, anytime.
a learning
Anytime.
experience.
It's a lot of fun. Oh, I love the shout out. I think I'm going to start doing more shout out videos because there are friends that have channels that need to be noticed. You guys need to be noticed. I know I'm somewhere stuck in the same rut here with my subscribers. I lose 4 and then I gain 3 and I lose 4. But I was like, this might help. So if you guys in the comments, if in the chat, check out their channels, look them up, show Will and David some love because they are amazing human beings. And do you have anything else that you want to add to this, David, before we close up for the night?
No, I'll echo what you said. Thanks so much for everybody for tuning in, the questions, and yeah, I'm excited for next time we do this.
How about you, Will? Anything that you would like to say in closing?
I guess the only thing to say in leaving is 80% of the journey has been mental. The rest has been physical. So it's the mental blocks that slow us down. Because if you cheat, like
Yeah.
if you fall back, you're like, you drink a regular soda, you're like, oh, the day's shot anyways. I'm just going to eat what I want.
Yeah.
That can set you back days. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
true. And I've done that. I've done that. Like I said, when I was drinking Coke, well, oh well, the rest. But then I started to change. All right, you messed up, but you still have 8 hours left in the day.
right.
And why just throw the whole day away just because of that? We all slip up and do things that we wish we hadn't done. Those
Mhm.
little things, and it just happens. Let's
And
see
then
if there's
thank you for all the questions and everyone that's here.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody that joined us this evening, Misty. So thank you so much. I always say on my workout videos that 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So if people are having a rough time getting through a walking workout, I always just say it's your class. Do what you can do. Take a break when you need to take a break. Come back to work when you're ready, because you're doing something. It's better than nothing at all. So that's always my tip of advice when it comes to pretty much anything. Oh, I have a friend. Peace out and go. He does some really great. This is your shout out, Peace. He does some really great videos. He just went to Portugal and they were in a sardine shop. And
Wow.
the cans look like gold. If you guys haven't seen him, peace out and go. He's a good friend of mine. We support each other's channels. That's for entertainment, and he's funny too. All right. Well, Will, what do you always say at the end of your videos? Maybe we can close with that.
Usually I tell people you are worth the effort to become the healthiest version of yourself. And life's not always hard. Sometimes we just need to dig deep and grind it out.
That's right. That's so nice, Will. I like that. Well, thank you so much, Will. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
It was a great
Thank you.
hour and 10 minutes. Hope I didn't take you away from your families for too long. And we'll have another live in January for sure.
Sounds
Sounds
good.
great.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Have a great evening. Everybody, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.